where you want it.
Bay 12, please.
Hello there, Flash fans, and welcome back to another Bay 12 video review. And today we have the Speed Metal wave. This is a wave I've been looking forward to, mostly because of the Build-A-Figure, not so much because of the Flash characters, but I also was really looking forward to this Wally here. The Doc Manhattan suit Wally is such a cool figure and such a cool character from Death Metal. And the other characters had their awesome moment in the spotlight too when they did Speed Metal, but I would say out of the four, I was most looking forward to this one. And then of course, The Darkest Night. Easily one of the coolest DC Multiverse Build-A-Figures ever produced from one of the coolest and most powerful DC characters ever conceived in the comics. So we're going to do Age Before Beauty. We're going to start with the original Flash, Jay Garrick, and then we're going to work our way. We're pretty much going to do this review in Flash order of seniority. So we're going to start with the original Jay, then of course the main Flash, Barry Allen, then we're going to move to the first Kid Flash, or the first other Flash, Wally West, and then of course we're going to move on to the current Kid Flash, the other Kid Flash, also Wally West, or Wallace West, or Wallace Rudolph, or whatever you want to call him. He's the other Kid Flash that took the mantle after Wally. Coincidentally, they have a very similar name. No, he is not a different universal version of this Wally, at least not to my knowledge. He is set in the same timeline in some cases, and I believe he came from the New 52 originally. So, another really cool character, a lot of awesome characters available, and then of course, the Build-A-Figure, which you'll notice there's no Build-A-Figure pieces in here. That's because we've already assembled him, and there's a story behind that which we will get to when we focus on the Build-A-Figure. So stay tuned for that. Time for the Flash. And I also got to say, the Flash Lightning accessories in all four of these are really awesome. McFarlane did not skimp out at all on the accessory count with the Flash characters this time. I can't wait to see what other Flash characters we get in the future, because he keeps on hitting every kind of story hard whenever he takes on a new story in DC Multiverse, and Speed Metal is no exception to that whatsoever. Alright, so here he is, Jay Garrick, the eldest of the Flashes, the original Flash, the Flash with the tin hat with the wings on it. You know the one. Now on the back, we've got some artwork of the Build-A-Figure here, The Darkest Night. And that's pretty much it for the box. Here he is, and he's looking awesome and speed metaled out, or death metal, whichever you want to call it. Because speed metal was just a small part of the overall death metal story. Really awesome looking suit. Now, of course, this isn't the suit he has for the entirety of Speed Metal. He has his classic suit first, and then later on he takes on this suit, while Barry takes on the suit he has in this figure line, Kid Flash takes on the suit he has in this figure line, and then of course Wally already started with the suit they did with the figure up. Now more on that when we're showing them all together. I'll go a little bit more in depth so you can see them all in their cool suits lined up side by side. Just funny because that's also kind of how they're running, is they're kind of running all lined up together. It's really cool. It's a cool comic. If you haven't checked it out, definitely go check it out. He does, of course, come with his data file card, like a DC multi-figure does. And it is Jay Garrick. Real name, Jay Garrick. In the 1940s, college student Jay Garrick acquired his super speed abilities in a random lab accident and became the first DC superhero to go by the name The Flash. Speaking of which, what is with these speedsters playing with dangerous chemicals, with electricity? I mean, if that's all you need to get super speed, I mean, I'm just gonna ignore everything my chemistry teacher ever taught me. Definitely not gonna wear goggles when I'm playing with water. That's for sure. Maybe I'll get flash powers because of that. That's probably what prevented me my whole life from getting super speed, was I wore goggles when I filled a glass with water. That's what did it. Yep. Years later, Jay was succeeded by police scientist Barry Allen until Barry's former kid partner Wally West took up the mantle at a time when Barry was considered dead. When Barry returned, he became the Flash once again. All three generations of speedsters have been cornerstone members of both the Justice Society and the Justice League. Very cool. And very speed metal. So here he is. Like I said, really awesome design. I love the metal take on the speedsters as well. I'm hoping in the next metal event that we get, if there is a next metal event, I'm sure there will be. The metal events have done really well for DC Comics. That maybe they take another awesome metal look to another superhero group within the DC multiverse, like do a metal version of the Lanterns or do a metal version of the Atlanteans. Get a bunch of different Atlantean characters, like do a metal Aquaman, do a metal Aqualad. Heck, have them have to work with Black Manta for some reason and have to partner with him. And then there's like a metal version of Black Manta teamed up with Aquaman and Aqualad. Have
Master and Mara.
Have a metal Ocean Master, have a metal Mara. With this metal, death metal theme, whatever you want to call it for the DC multiverse, it has really changed DC Comics forever. And I feel as though DC can get a lot of mileage now that they've introduced metalizing another superhero subgroup in its entirety, or rather majority. They could do it with pretty much any other DC group. And I think that's really cool. And I'm really glad that they incorporated the other Flashes to fight alongside Wally in death metal. I thought that was really awesome. And the reunification of Wally with the other Flashes was really great as well. Again, more on that if you read death metal. His suit looks awesome. Like I said, he's got all those cool different textures. And I like how it breaks down in different parts. How he's got this awesome vest on, and then you've got his biceps out, but then he's got these cool Batman-like shaped gauntlets on, these red gloves. He's got the full pants with these awesome spiked knee pads. He's got the Batman-like gauntlets, but on his shins, these red boots. He's got the classic helmet with the lightning stripes, and I like the yellow speed line textures on there too. I think that's really cool. The face sculpt looks really cool. I like how he's got the Ziggy Stardust lightning bolt going down his cheek. At least we still got Bowie. Fully articulated head is on a ball joint. Fully articulated shoulders, bicep, double jointed elbows, wrists, waist, hips, double jointed knees, ankle joints, and those toe joints. And then of course you get 4 speed lightning effects that you can just attach to his limbs in various places, which is why I broke out the figure stand on this one. And that looks really sweet with all of those speed effects just attached to all of his limbs. That it just makes for a really cool display. And they're pretty much interswappable because of the way they're designed with that soft plastic, and it just kind of holds on there via the tightness and the grip of the lightning effect. You can pretty much wrap it around any of his 4 limbs and have that really cool lightning shooting off the back of him effect. Next up we have the Flash, Barry Allen, the main Flash that most people know about. Here he is, and this is the black and red suit he gets during the speed metal event. He does start out with his classic suit where he's got the red and the yellow lightning bolt and all that good stuff on there, but he does change to the suit. And I really like that Todd did that. I like that Todd didn't just release the regular classic suits of these characters as they first appeared in the comic, because it's their normal suits for most of their appearances, and actually did the speed metal suits that they get during the speed metal story. I think that's really awesome that he did it that way. So there he is in the packaging. Again, you've got the artwork of the Darkest Night on the back, because this is the Darkest Night Build-A-Wave. Barry on the side. Faster Barry. Faster Barry. There is Barry, looking all awesome. He's got his guns out. I like the way his suit turned out with his arms, and I love how he's got these awesome just speedster tattoos that kind of blur the line of, are they tattoos? Are they part of his suit? It's really tricky to tell if it's just a suit or if it's actually a part of him. And that's what looks really cool about this design, is it's very seamless as to where it starts and where it ends, because it looks like it goes all the way up his arm and into his suit as though it's maybe a part of the overall suit. But as you can see over here on the shoulders, it's torn where the sleeve should be attached. So it leads you to assume that it just kind of ends here up at the shoulder and is a part of his skin overall. And I think that's a really cool touch. I think that's an awesome design element to this version of Barry. I also dig the black and red. I think that mixes up the classic red and yellow Flash dynamic quite a bit. Seeing Barry in black and red is kind of a fresh take on his character design, and I think it really works for him. I think it's a really good look for him.
He
now,
had a similar color outfit in The Dark Knight Strikes again.
Oh, did he?
Almost the same. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. That's right. In the Frank.
Frank Miller.
Yeah, in the Frank Miller story. That's right.
Sequel to Dark Knight.
I totally forgot about that version of the Flash. Yeah. I like the suit colorway. I think it's cool. All right, so he does, of course, also come with a data file card, and there's the artwork on that. And then there's the words and things on the back. Barry Allen, real name, Barry Allen. In the 1940s, college student Jay Garrick acquired his super speed abilities. Why are we reading Jay's again? Let's see. Blah, blah, blah. Stuff about Jay being the Flash. Jay was succeeded by police scientist Barry Allen, which we also read last time, until Barry's former kid partner Wally took up the mantle and went back in time when Barry was considered dead. When Barry returned, he became the Flash once again, all three generations of speedsters. Okay, so this is exactly the same as Jay's. That's kind of disappointing. It's weird that we got two of the same bio for two different characters entirely. Now, granted, they're both kind of it's kind of a brief bio that captures all three, so I'm wondering if Wally's is going to be the same as theirs. But I feel as though they should have gotten their own unique bios. That's all I'm going to say on that. Okay. Anyway, here is Barry. Again, he's looking awesome. I love this suit design. I like the little subtleties, like I mentioned earlier, with the sleeves being torn. You can see the frayed edges of where his sleeves end. But then the rest of the suit is just a full encapsulated suit, which is pretty sweet. Fully articulated head is on a ball joint. Fully articulated shoulders, including those awesome socket shoulder joints. Upper bicep, double jointed elbows, wrists, waist, upper waist and lower waist for Barry. Hips, double jointed knees, ankle joints, and those toe joints. And then he comes with these awesome red, nice bright red Speed Force lightning effects. And there is Barry with all of his lightning effects. And again, just looks really, really awesome with those lightning effects hanging off of him. And next up here we have Wally West, and he is sporting his blue, not Blue Lantern, his blue Dr. Manhattan inspired outfit. So after the crisis, I think it was Crisis on Infinite Earths, when Wally got lost in the Speed Force, he ended up in a way getting rescued by Dr. Manhattan and getting kind of supercharged by Dr. Manhattan, which is why he has this suit. So Wally is now pretty much the fastest speedster, and then long story short, The Batman Who Laughs gets a hold of him, keeps him in prison, saps some of his power every so often, and then into Speed Metal, he ends up getting freed by Wonder Woman, and then he ends up running to not get captured by the Darkest Knight. We're just gonna go through that really quick, like these guys do. They go through life really quick. An awesome suit. This is, again, the one I was looking forward to most, just because he is the focal Flash character of this story and the most powerful Flash character of this story, and a really awesome one. So there he is in the packaging. There's that Art of Darkest Knight on the back, Wally West on the side, and that's pretty much it for the box. And here he is in that awesome Manhattan blue suit with the silver lightning flash bits. Just, again, a really awesome suit design for him. I dig the blue. It's a really nice color that I think fits this character very well. I would have to say this is probably my favorite Wally West suit, personally. Fully articulated, head is on a ball joint. Fully articulated shoulders, socket joints, upper bicep, double jointed elbows, wrists, upper waist, lower waist, hips, double jointed knees, ankle joints, and toe joints. Here is his data file card. There's the artwork there. There's the words and things on the back, and it actually looks like it's different this time. So, real name, Wallace Rudolph West, or Wally West. While visiting the lab of his uncle-to-be, Barry Allen, the young Wally West was caught in a freak electrochemical accident which gave him the superpowers of the Speed Force, the extra-dimensional energy that powers all speedsters. Wally then became the Flash, his protege, Kid Flash, and eventually took the mantle of the Flash after Barry sacrificed himself to save the universe in Crisis on Infinite Earths. Here are his lightning effects. Now, his are a little bit different from everybody else, okay? He comes with lightning effects that peg on to specific places on the figure. So you have a peg hole on his back, you have peg holes on his arms and on his legs. So these just plug in to these various places. So you've got this one right here, this one pegs on right here onto his back, I believe. At least I thought it did. Let's see, maybe this one pegs onto his back. Oh, there we go. Okay, so this one pegs right onto his back. Nice and easy. And they articulate on these little ratcheting joints so you can pose the lightning coming off of him in different ways. Next up, you also have these smaller ones that can peg onto the sides of his arms and the sides of his legs. Now, these ones look to be pretty interchangeable. Doesn't really matter which one you peg where. You can peg small or large bolts off of him. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Put one. Actually, we already put a large one over there. So we're going to put the big one there. Alternate them. There we go. Right there. So, oh, I know where this, okay, that's really cool. I figured it out. This one goes on the bottom of either one of his feet. Pegs right into the bottom of his foot, and then this hole right here, and this is what threw me off because I thought you were going to make it like a tri-lightning bolt, you know, thing coming off of his back. So what you do is you bring his foot forward, like so, at an angle. You take that, peg it into the bottom of either foot. Again, it doesn't matter which one. Use that toe joint there. And then take this and peg it onto the figure stand. That is too cool. That is probably one of the coolest, if not the coolest, lightning accessory for any one of the Speedster figures that McFarlane has done so far. And overall, that just makes for a really awesome look. Definitely can't wait to see them all together at this point. And last but not least, we have Kid Flash, the other Wally West. And he's looking pretty awesome in his suit too. I really dig the black and gray suit for this guy. I think that's another really awesome color combination for a Flash. You got Kid Flash there on the side, Darkest Night artwork on the back, and that's pretty much it for the box. And here we have Wallace West, the fourth Kid Flash, the other Wally West that took up the mantle after the first Wally West, son of Daniel West, the second Reverse Flash. He's not the second Reverse Flash, his father was, but ended up becoming one of Barry's proteges all the same. And another really cool Kid Flash. I also dig his suit design as well. I love the little clear aerodynamic fins just coming off of him. He's got other fins right here on the back of his calves. He's got a clear knee plate. I think that's really cool. Overall, another really awesome character design. Fully articulated, heads on a ball joint, fully articulated shoulders, upper bicep, double jointed elbows, wrist joints, upper torso, lower torso, hips, double jointed knees, ankles, and toe joints. And Kid Flash here comes with, of course, his own lightning effects, including one that sits over his torso. So he gets all kinds of charged up. I like that a lot. I think that's just another cool. And that's the other thing I like about this wave is it doesn't look like any of the Flash lightning effects have been recasted for any other Flash. It looks like each lightning effect that comes with each one of these Flashes is unique to that figure. Even though there was nothing stopping McFarlane Toys from just doing a set of 4 fit around the limbs speedster lightning effects and just reproducing them for the whole wave, they still went the extra mile to cast unique little lightning effects for each speedster, which awesome. And here he is with all of his awesome lightning effects. Well, most of them. I had a hard time finding a place for this one and getting that one to stay on. Feel like maybe it'll hang on to a leg a little bit better, but that's okay. We're just going to leave that one set aside for right now. And there are all 4 speedsters charging forward in their speed metal uniforms. Which, okay, so they get their speed metal uniforms while they're running. They're running in speed metal. They're running from the Darkest Night, who was the Man Who Laughs. And they're also running from the Dark Flashes, because the Darkest Night, of course, can conjure up pretty much whatever he wants. So he makes a bunch of Dark Flashes to chase these guys down. Now, they don't have these suits yet. It's when they're running, Wally basically calls an audible, stops time by using his powers, because again, he's the most powerful of all of them, so he's able to pretty much stop time from moving, which stops everything from chasing them, which gives them a moment to catch a breather. And then when they figure out what they're going to do next in their gambit, when things get kind of restarted back up, that's when their suits change to these death metal inspired suits, and they're a little bit more souped up, and then they're charging back forward into danger. So really cool. But for more information, more in depth, because I'm paraphrasing a lot from Speed Metal, check out our good friend Eris with Variant on the Variant YouTube channel and watch his Speed Metal video. It goes way more in depth with this whole story than I can, and he's a pretty cool guy with some pretty awesome, more knowledge than me too, in the DC multiverse. All right, now for the moment you've all been waiting for. Here he is. The Darkest Knight. The most powerful, the most powerful iteration of not only the Batman Who Laughs, but the most powerful iteration of Bruce Wayne. I mean, he's got godlike abilities. He gets his powers by essentially swapping his brain with a Dr. Manhattan version of a Bruce Wayne. So he captured a Dr. Manhattan version of a Bruce Wayne, held onto his body, and during death metal had his brain transplanted into that body, at which point he became this. And he only gets more powerful as death metal progresses, which is crazy. The figure turned out amazing. I love this translucent purplish black plastic that they cast him with. It definitely looks more translucent in person than it does on camera. Fully articulated. Head is on a ball joint. Articulated jaw. Fully articulated shoulders. Upper biceps. Double jointed elbows. Wrist joints. Upper torso and lower torso. And I love with his character design how his torso hangs over and you can see his neck kind of curving upward, where he's just kind of in this hunched over posture position, which is crazy because you wouldn't picture an all-powerful character in a state like this, but that's just kind of how he appears. And trust me when I say he is arguably one of the most strongest, if not the strongest DC multiverse character ever conceived at this point. Hip articulation, a little bit of upper thigh, double jointed knees, ankle joints, and toe joints. And you can get some pretty awesome poses with this dude. I just love how lanky he looks. He also looks really unhinged. I mean, he is a very unhinged character. It is the next evolution of the Batman Who Laughs. So, this is a Build-A-Figure that you're very much not going to want to sleep on, guys. If you can find any of the Speed Metal Wave, I encourage you to pick it up. Even if you're not, a Speedster fan, for this Build-A-Figure alone, it's going to be totally worth it, because I'd be willing to bet that this becomes one of the most valuable Build-A-Figures very quickly at some point, if it isn't already. Just because of how awesome and honestly how rare this wave has been. I mean, when we were hunting to get a hold of this wave for our personal collection to review for this video for you guys, we had a really hard time getting them all together and finding them in the wild. More and more this year, some of the McFarlane toys have been getting a little bit rarer than they have in the past. I don't know if that's something to do with distribution. I don't know if they're producing less quantities of certain figures or others for one reason or another, or if just some stores just aren't putting stuff out and they're just holding on to figures in their warehouses rather than just put out new McFarlane toys. All I can say is, in my area, when it comes to McFarlane toys, a lot of the shelves are bare at Targets and at some Walmarts, and I didn't find this wave at either of them. I actually found it at my local comic book shop. So hopefully we start to see this wave hit shelves a little bit more heavily sometime in the future. And stay tuned for more awesome DC Multiverse reviews, guys, because we have a lot more awesome DC Multiverse reviews coming in the future. Go check out some of the other ones we've done in the past. Check out the Dark Flash figure review we did. If it's not posted up yet, it will be soon, maybe even on the same day as this video. So stay tuned for that. And stay tuned for, like I said, what the Todd Father has in store for us. Because if he's got more awesome waves like this, I mean, he just keeps killing it, guys. He just keeps killing it. DC Multiverse just keeps getting better and better, and it's awesome. Can't wait to see what he does next. Really can't. Like and subscribe. Follow us on social media. And I just realized I totally forgot to go over why we assembled him before in the first place. So we first took him out of the package, the Build-A-Figure pieces, because we were just really excited to play with the Darkest Night here. We really were. We were really excited. This is an awesome figure. And the reason we didn't disassemble this and put him back in the packaging before we recorded this video is because we did have a QC issue with our Darkest Night here. Now, you might not be able to see that because of how dark that shoulder socket is. Oh, there we go. There we go. But basically, there was a bit of plastic where the ball joint is supposed to sit in the socket that was pushed in and kind of broken in a way, but pushed into where you couldn't really put the ball joint in without digging that little bit out. So after some digging, we did get that piece out. The shoulder socket works as it's supposed to now, but it did come damaged brand new. So there was a brief QC issue there. We don't usually experience a lot of QC issues when we're reviewing or picking up McFarlane, but we did want to make that note because it was worth mentioning for you guys who might be looking to complete this, since I said definitely don't sleep on this wave. You want to pick up this figure. And if there are QC issues, and hopefully there aren't any more QC issues or consistent QC issues with this figure, that's also going to add to the value of a completed Darkest Night. So like I said, when I say don't sleep on it, I mean don't sleep on it, because the value of this figure might catch up to you sooner than you think. And there's some DC Multiverse figures. Is he really? Wow. So apparently he's close to 150 already.
The value of that figure is more than the entire wave if you can find them new.
So, and there's values on previously released DC Multiverse figures that I remember used to peg warm like crazy that are now 80 to 100 bucks. So don't sleep on DC Multiverse. The values are definitely catching up sooner rather than later. And right this second, while I'm recording this video, I have just been informed the full Speed Metal Wave is on sale for $84, $85 on the McFarlaneShop.com right now. So if you're quick, maybe you can get yourself a wave. And also the Kid Flash, the regular Wallace West Classic yellow suit Kid Flash is up, available for order on McFarlane Toys right now as well. Stay tuned for more. Like I said earlier, make sure you like and subscribe and follow us on social media. Stay tuned for our live sales that we do here on our YouTube channel, and check out the new Order 66, and check out the Bay 12 physical location in the shops at Willow Bend inside Order 66 Multiverse. We'll see you guys later. We'll see you another time. Same bat time, same bat channel.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.